Okay people, this is himself and welcome to another King guide for Tekken 7. In this video we're going to look at all the changes we got in Season 3 and answer the question, is this the best version of King ever? Let's start off with change number 1. Rage Drive can now be done from running, and this is a buff because, well, before you couldn't. I don't think it's a big deal though, because if I'm gonna do a running move, it's probably gonna be Shining Wizard or Running 3 or Drop Kick. I'm not going to do Blue Bomb because the range isn't that good and the tracking isn't that good either. So for me, this is more of a bug fix than anything else. Change number 2. Increase the range on standing 1. This is a buff. Increasing the range on anything is a buff. If you actually look at the animation, King doesn't throw a punch, it's more of a palm strike, and maybe that's why the range wasn't so good, but now it should be fixed. Change number 3. Standing 2 now has less pushback on hit. This is a buff because with them being closer to you, short range throws like Tombstone will connect. Before they would sometimes miss, especially on the smaller characters, but now that shouldn't be a problem. Change number 4, 2-1. It's now -1 on block rather than -2 and +7 on hit rather than +5. Now the first part is a minor buff. Anything that you would do at -1, you probably could have done at -2. But the second part is a noticeable buff. Before you were at +5, so your frame trap was DF1 or DF2. Now you're at +7 and that means you can use F+2, and it's even better at the wall because here you get a wall splat. And to get them to duck you can use D3, and this is 17 frames, so it's almost uninterruptible. What you can also do is use F+3. Before they could jab you out of it and get a clash, but now that won't happen, so you can actually get the DDT as well. Change number 5. 1+2-1 is now a wall bouncer, and this is a heavy buff. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm going to cover it in a separate video, but what I am going to say is that it does more damage than Back+4, which is his other wall bounce move. Now I actually did a video covering that some time ago, so if you want to see it, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. Change number 6. F+2 down +1. Range increased on the second hit. Now this is a buff, but it's minor. I don't think it really affects King that much. Change number 7. DF2-1. They fixed an issue where frames on block would vary depending on the input of the second hit. Now I don't know too much about this, but what I've heard is that when you delayed the second hit, King would recover slower. Now it should be the same regardless of how you do it. Change number 8. DB3 count hits property changed. Before the patch went live, people thought that this would no longer launch on count hit, but what they actually did is just change the animation. The old easy combo still works, but now you can actually pick up with F+3. You can also get slightly more damage if you pick up with while standing 1+2. Change number 9. Back+2 now has more range, and this is a buff because Back+2 used to have short range and it meant that it really wasn't that useful. Now you can use it in juggles, and it also means that the Olympian Slam is more viable. I actually recently did a video covering that move, so if you want to see it, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. Change number 10. Back+2-1. This is a new move, and what a move it is. 14 frames natural combo, and it does more damage than Back+1-2, so it's actually a punisher. It also wall splats, gives you a knockdown, and it's safe at -9. The only downside is that the second hit is high, so it can be ducked. But where the move really shines is in combos, because the second hit will tailspin, and Back+2 has more range, so it's actually usable as well. What I'm going to do in the near future is a compilation of combos where Back+2 on it is worth using. So if you want to see that when it comes out, make sure you subscribe. Change number 11. Forward neutral 2 is now -14 on block rather than -15, and it's +1 on hit rather than 0. Now this is a buff. With the move now being -14 rather than -15, fewer characters can launch punish it, and that makes the risk reward way better. The +1 is not that big a deal, but it's better to have it than not. Change number 12. While standing 1+2, they reduce the distance between King and the other character on hit. Personally, I don't see this being a big deal because I generally just follow with chest bump, but maybe J-King will find something. Change number 13. Stretch combo. They reduce the number of input windows from 2 to 1, but they also increase the remaining input window from 1 frame to 3. Now this is a buff because the input window is ever so slightly bigger, so it should be easier to get. The only problem is landing the tackle in the first place. King is probably the second best one in the game, and yet it seems so inaccessible. If I could ask for one reasonable thing, then it would be to remove standing figure 4 and replace it with a tackle. As it is, standing figure 4 is one of, if not the worst throw in the game. They have 2 opportunities to break it, and if they do it on the second, King actually takes damage, so there's no reason to use this throw. Instead, if we have DB2+3 as the tackle, you get something useful, and it means you don't have to do it from crouch. Now if any of you are interested in the tackle, then I already did a video covering follow-ups and OK, and I think there's 2 cross-ups in there as well. So if you want to see it, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. Putting all that together, it's clear that King has only got stronger. I was actually worried that they'd nerf him because he was already strong in season 2, but instead they decided to buff him again. And it leaves me wondering, is this the best version of King we've ever had? I know that in Tekken 1 he had a broken DF1, and I think he also had that octopus death grab, but if we ignore that, then this is probably his best incarnation. His punishes are good, his juggles are good, his wall combos are good, his rage drive is good. He still has crappy lows, but a character is made up of their weaknesses as well as their strengths, and I don't want Namco to go and patch this hole. It should be there. Now moving forward from here, I've got 3 more videos coming, covering Backless To combos, the new Warbound, and a summary of his rage drive. I'm also going to carry on with Armor King and bits and pieces of Nina as well, and after that I might dabble with a few of the characters. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, then give me a thumbs up. If you think I've missed something out or got something wrong, then say so in the comments. There's more content to come, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and I'll see you guys in the future.